Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and today we're going to take a look at the Nadix gaming mouse from RIOTORO. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so today we're going to be taking a look at the RIOTORO Nadix. This is a new gaming mouse from the people over at RIOTORO, and we're going to check it out today. It's been sent over to us free of charge for review purposes, so we're going to take a look at it and I'll let you know what I think of it. Now, first of all, complete disclosure, I have actually been using this mouse on my desktop editing PC for about the last 2 weeks. So I've had a little bit of a cold, etc., a bit of man flu, so I've been using it periodically to do video editing and check my emails, all that kind of stuff. And I've got to say, straight off, spoiler alert, it's a very good mouse. So you can pretty much stop the video there, click on the links below and just buy one. But if you want to know a little bit more about it, let's go into it in a little bit more detail. So first of all, let's take a look at the box, and the packaging itself is very nice. You've got this nice RIOTORO coloured packaging, very similar to the rest of their packaging, things like the Ghostwriter keyboard, all that sort of stuff. All their packaging is very, very similar. We've got the red and black contrast, which are their key colours. The product itself is clearly shown on the front there, and you've got this RGB logo around the outside, which gives you a hint to its RGB-ness, or lighting effects. On the side of the box, we've got more details about the switches. Now, this is also sort of the prism lighting effect. It's using Omron switches, and it's got a Pixart 3325 sensor in there. So for you technical buffs out there, there's all the information you need to know. Also comes with a 2-year warranty, which is good to see. And on the back of the box, it goes into some of the key features on it, such as the lighting, the tracking, and the flexibility of the controls. That is pretty much it. Inside the box, there's a few little bits and pieces like instruction manual, but that is essentially it. Moving around to the mouse itself. So this is the mouse itself. As you can see, this is designed for right-handed use, although I am actually a left-hander and I've been using it quite comfortably in my left hand and using this side ledge for a rest for my fingers. And actually, it's a kind of a new style for me for actually holding a mouse. I've actually found it to be very comfortable and very usable. The scroll wheel for me personally is in a pretty much perfect position. Some of the mice, I find the scroll wheel is a little bit too far forward for me to stretch my finger to, but here it's actually very, very easy to use. It feels very natural. I got used to this very easily. This was a switch up from my RIOTORO Aurochs mouse, which I was using previously, and also I've used other Cooler Master mice as well, and I found this one to actually be very comfortable. Again, considering this is designed really for right-handed, even for a left-handed person like myself, it feels very, very comfortable, very, very natural. The actual texture of the mouse itself is a kind of like a satin matte black finish with a semi-rubber feel. They call it the buffalo skin, I think, or something along those lines. They've got some sort of trademark name for it, but essentially it's just quite a grippy skin. Even though it is a satin matte black, it doesn't really show up a great deal of fingerprints and all that kind of stuff. It actually looks quite clean, and it doesn't look like I've been using it for the last 3 weeks with a serious cold, so there's a plus point. As you can probably tell from the lighting, it does have controllable RGB lighting, and on this side, the right-hand side, or sorry, left-hand side, and on this side, you've got the same lighting. Also on the scroll wheel, you've got illumination, and also you've got the RIOTORO logo. Now, this is one of the issues I have slightly with this software. It is actually software controlled. You don't have to use the software if you don't want to. It is optional. It does work completely well without the software, but the software does give you a few more tweaks. Now, I was hoping to see that in the software that you'd be able to change it so the actual RIOTORO logo would change color the same as the rest of the mouse. Unfortunately, it doesn't. This is designed to flash the color depending on your DPI setting. So using the DPI buttons on the top, if you go through them, as you change it, it changes the color on the back so you can tell which you're on. Now, if you actually got this software installed, this is not necessary, because actually on your desktop, when you press the button, it flashes up in the top corner to tell you which DPI setting you're on. So if you accidentally press it, then you can touch it again to get back to the right setting. So in total, you've got 7 programmable buttons on here, although essentially I would say your left click, right click, and your kind of scroll mouse, you're not really going to do a lot of programming with. Mostly it's going to be for your forward and back buttons on the side, and also for your DPI buttons, which you can switch in the RIOTORO software. So going back to the sides, as you can see, you've got the illumination there, which you can change, which we'll look at a little bit later. But it's actually very nicely laid out, all streamlined, looks very nice. The back of it is quite rounded off as well, so it's not that kind of sharp, hard, or blunt edge, which is quite nice and actually fits in the palm very nicely. Moving around to this side again, very smooth lines, very comfortable, all that kind of thing. The scroll wheel mouse itself, or the scroll wheel, has got this kind of like indentation on it, almost like a tractor tire. So it's very grippy, and the actual individual clicks between each roll are very defined, but not harsh. So you know you've actually rolled the mouse a certain amount. You've got some really nice tactile feedback there, but it's not really difficult to move. It's quite a nice smooth wheel. I like it a lot. Very reminiscent of some of the early Microsoft mice, the IntelliMice, that kind of thing, which I personally do like. The actual click itself, the middle click, very good. And the click from the left and right hand buttons, very similar. They don't seem to have any kind of obvious discrepancies. The buttons, the switches themselves are very well placed and they feel very balanced. The cable itself coming out of the mouse is a black braided cable, which is nice to see. So it's plain black, so it fits in with most color schemes. Some mice have got kind of like red and black or various different colors, but the black mouse is very good, like this. Also, you've got a gold plated connector for plugging it into the PC, which is another sign of the quality. And generally overall, it's a very nice quality feeling product. The weight of it is about 90 grams. It's difficult to tell because it's got the cable connected. It's not a cable which you can remove, but I've put this onto a set of scales and it comes out about 90 to 91 grams. So a little bit lighter than the previous Aurochs mouse. So if you like a lighter mouse, then this is possibly one to look for. 90 grams is still relatively heavy in some of the more modern mice, or even some of the very cheap mice, which are quite flimsy. But this has got a nice balance between being sturdy, strong construction, and also relatively lightweight. On the bottom of the mouse, you've got 3 pads for moving around and sliding across surfaces. I find it to slide well on a normal desktop, a mouse pad, even on glass. It works quite well on glass as well. Even the sensor does pick up, even on a clear glass table. I find it to work very well and very accurately. You can actually change the USB polling rate as well. There's a button on the bottom. You can also do that in software as well. So you've got options, I think, 125, 250, 500 and 1000 Hertz for the polling rate. And also, again, you've got your DPI changing on the top, which goes up to 10,000 DPI. So that's a quick tour around the mouse. Let's take a look at the software and we'll go through some of the changing options for color and customization for the buttons. Okay, so this is the Nadix software control center for the mouse, as you can see. So this is driver version 1.0.3. RIOTORO do often play with their drivers and make sort of changes and updates. So obviously what I'm going to be showing you in this video, it may well be changed by the time this is an official retail release product. Anyway, so on the main page, you've got sections here. So you've got all your mouse settings there, what it looks like, and you've got various profiles. So you can add up to 3 different profiles. So if you want different settings, you can go ahead and change those and have a different color or profile or DPI for each setting if you wanted to. You can change things like your buttons. So left button, if you click on that, you can go through the software and choose it to do something else altogether. You can change DPI, make it into a multimedia button, all those kinds of things, lots of different options. I would say realistically most of those probably won't be changed. The DPI buttons, for me personally, would probably be the ones I'd change. Maybe change that to one of the multimedia keys or something, and then set that to be to change or reload a weapon, that kind of thing. You've also got macro editor, so you can go in and save macros if you wish to, and that can save to the onboard storage. Also, you can delete profiles or add profiles, all those kinds of things in this section. This is a more interesting section over here. So you've got your USB polling rate in Hertz, so you can change that between 250 and 1000 Hertz, and just click on apply at the bottom when you want to make a change. You've got your mouse parameters there, so you've got sensitivity, you can improve the pointer's precision, you've got scrolling speeds and double click speeds, all that kind of stuff, so you can really tailor that to your own specifications. Yeah, you've got your DPI setting at the top here, so you can set it so you're on the fly button, so when you click through and you change the DPI, you can change it so the settings are slightly different, so you can adjust those how you see fit, adjust them up or down and have them set as your presets. But what most of you are probably interested in more so is the lighting effects. So currently at the moment, as you can see on the desk, this is currently set to the colourful streaming section, and you can speed that up if you want to. So we click on apply there, and that will speed up the lighting effect slightly. And if I actually change my DPI, so I just adjusted it there. So if you want to, you can change the speed right down. You've got direction as well, so you can change direction if you want to change the light, go into a different way. So there's quite a bit of flexibility there. So we'll apply those changes there, and it applies and updates them quite quickly. So other effects that we've got available, actually let's change the DPI again. So colourful streaming, you've got steady, and again in this section you can double click and choose a particular colour. So at the moment, as you can see, it's set to red, If you want to, if you're a NVIDIA person, then you can choose your green color, and you can have a green mouse, all that kind of stuff. You get the idea. It's a very usual thing. So breathe in you can do as well, and you can double click to choose a color. So let's change it to yellow. Let's choose yellow, and there we go. So we change that to a yellowy color. Again, you get the idea. You can make lots and lots of changes. There's a tail which kind of spins around left and right hand side, and it does go from one side to the other. Also, you've got things like flicker, so you can choose two colors and you can flicker between the two. So if you've got one of those monochromatic builds and you want to have like black and white or whatever it may be, pink and purple and hot and neon colors, all that sort of stuff, you can go ahead and do those. You've got colorful steady, which is just the various colors on there which you can change through. You've got flicker, like I said. Response, now this one, every time you click a button it will change color. And streaming, so that just goes through changing the color as you go. Got the wave, which is like a colorful wave. Trailing, which flashes on and off the colors. And if you want to, you can turn the LEDs off altogether, so it just looks like a regular mouse. Me personally, being the RGB person I am, then colourful streaming is the way forward for me. That works with most Unicorn Puke devices, and actually works really well with the RIOTORO Ghostwriter keyboard when it's in its RGB mode. The two work very well together, they look very well together and kind of synchronise together. Even though the software isn't intrinsically linked, it does look like the items are linked. So maybe if you've got a Ghostwriter keyboard already, this might be a very good option to join your desk set. So there we have it. That is the RIOTORO NADIX RGB gaming mouse. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section below. I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are. Personally, I like it. It's very comfortable to use, very reliable, very sturdy. Feels very nice in the hand, all that kind of thing. The only thing which I would say counts against it slightly is its stiff competition. There's a lot of competition in this kind of price point, or what we believe to be the price point, around about the sort of £40 mark. Lots of other mice out there with similar components, Omron switches, Pixart sensors, all those kinds of things. Whether or not RIOTORO can reduce that price slightly to make it slightly more competitive, that would be very interesting to see. With the previous mouse, the Orox, which started out again at a very similar price, we can now find those available in the UK market from around about £20, which makes them actually a fantastic deal at the moment. So maybe if you do want to pick up a RIOTORO mouse because of the quality and the features, but you want to spend a little bit less on this, then maybe you can pick up an Orox mouse as well. We'll put links for both of those in the description below. They will be affiliated links, so we do get a little bit of a cashback from purchases if you go on Amazon, all those kinds of things. But in the meantime, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.